It's finally time for Dominaria United, and today we're playing some Goyf, but in Standard. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Much Ado About Nothing. And this week, we're getting our first look at our new Standard format. We're heading to Dominaria United Standard to play some Goyfs. But in Standard of all places, this is a really sweet and surprisingly strong, I think, Sultai Graveyard deck built around Urborg Goyf that has a ridiculous amount of creatures, so Goyf gets really big really quickly. So let's talk about what this deck's trying to do. Jump into some games, see it in action. So our namesake card, Urborg Goyf, is our standard Tarmogoyf. It works a little bit different than normal Tarmogoyf. All it cares about is how many creatures we can get in our graveyard, and then it gets really big. Its power toughness equal that with its toughness that +1. And then it's got kicker, twice potentially, to mill a few cards to help grow our Goyf. So the idea of our deck is we have Goyf, and then we got some backup Goyfs. Old Stickfinger, kind of the same thing, scales based on the number of creatures in our graveyard. Consuming Blob is like a literal Goyf, cares about card types in our graveyard. So we have all these creatures that get really big if we can fill our graveyard. And part of the upside of these cards, like Urborg Goyf and Old Stickfingers, is they also help fill our graveyard. So it is pretty easy to relatively early in the game have our Urborg Goyfs or Old Stickfingers be 8 power creatures, 10 power creatures. Sometimes Urborg Goyf is like a 2 mana 15/16 or something. It is really absurd how big these cards get. We also have a couple of like pseudo Goyfs, Reclusive Taxidermist, Ramp that gets bigger if we got creatures in our graveyard, Writhing Necromats, usually a 1 mana 5/5 Death Touch, pretty decent in Standard. So these are our backups that also care about creatures in our graveyard. And then we got a bunch of ways to fill our graveyard outside of our Goyfs and our Old Stickfingers. Death Bonnet Sprout mills us, Undead Butler mills us, Vilespawn Spider mills us, Shigeki mills us, and some of these turn into pretty good creatures on their own, like Death Bonnet Hawk turns into a 3/3 for 1, Vilespawn Spider can make a bunch of tokens, Shigeki can get stuff back from the graveyard. And then part of the trick of this deck is we tried to play Tarmogoyf in a pretty traditional like Jund style deck with some planeswalkers and some creatures and some discard and some removal, and it felt really bad. To make Goyf work, your deck has to be incredibly creature heavy. Well, thankfully, thanks to Kamigawa and Dynasty and a little bit from Dominaria United, we can play a deck that's almost all creatures. So we got 32 creatures in our deck, but still have interaction. We got Colossal Sky Turtle, a bounce spell that is also a creature, so it grows our Goyf. Mirror Shell Crab gives us a bad mana leak, but can also grow our Goyf. Urtai Resurrected can do a little bit of everything, and it's a creature to grow our Goyf. So by overloading on creatures, we can maximize the potential of Urborg Goyf and our Old Stickfingers and all of our other synergies, but still be able to play a real game of Magic. It's not like we're lacking on ways to interact with our opponent. The only non-creature non-lands in our main deck, a couple of Planeswalkers, 3 Liliana, which synergizes pretty well with the deck. Queen Uptick to get creatures in our graveyard. If we ultimate, we probably just win the game. Ren and 7 also fills our graveyard, makes big creatures, so it works with the theme of the deck. Mana base, pretty straightforward. A bunch of dual lands. Not a lot of value to get out of your mana base anymore. No MDFCs, no creature lands. We do get 1 each of the channel lands, but really, in Dominaria United Standard, lands are just lands. They're just fixing your mana. And then sideboard-wise, even though we don't get to use it today because we're playing Early Access Day, which is only best to 1, but the sideboard for the deck, we got some negates, some discards for control. We got some more removal for creature decks. Outland Liberator, Graveyard Trespasser, more utility creatures that work with the Goyf plan. And that is Sultai Goyf for Dominaria United Standard. That's our Much Ado deck for this week, so let's jump into some games and see just how good Urborg Goyf can be at Standard if you go all in and building around it. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap-up. Today's video is brought to you by our awesome sponsor, Card Kingdom. You can get all the Dominaria United cards you need and help support the show over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. All right, Much Ado About Nothing time. We are playing some new Standard this week with Tarmogoyf. Tarmogoyf, but in Standard. We need more lands, but the sand is fine. We really, Goyf is so much better when you can kick it. Hopefully we just draw land and our choices become much easier. Opponent, Jeskai. Well, okay. That's fine. I'll run out the Sprout. Would have been better last turn, but opponent, Forest, and land, Warloam Speaker. Can we draw land? Please don't. Oh my god, it milled the land. Okay, we do draw land. We can't play Liliana. Yeah, I think we just pass for now and leave up the Mirror Shell Crab. Opponent ramping onto makes me a little nervous about them playing something good here. 5 color, eh? Passes. All right, mill a sky turtle, draw old stick fingers. Well, we will continue passing. Not the fastest start, I will admit. About it undaps. Defiler of Vigor. Yeah, that's counterable. Yeah, stop the Defiler. Ah, mill a land. My God, this land milling. All right, well, kick a Goyf. Mill a bunch of lands. Oh my God, we're milling all the lands we need. About it, taps. Oh boy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Briar Hydra. Mill a turtle. Hit a land. Deals combat damage, put X counters on target creature you control or X's number of basic land types. So that's a lot of counters. That is a lot of counters. Yeah, let's old stick fingers. 4 mana. Mill a couple of creatures. Grow the Goyf. I don't think we want to attack though. I think we gotta wait. We don't want to get hit by this Hydra. That would be awkward. We're getting there though. We're getting there. About it. Was not expecting to see Briar Hydra. One of the new intro pack rares essentially. But if we got all the land types and you can actually get in with it. Opponent Herd Migration. This is gonna get interesting. Exile the Defiler. Well, okay. Ottawa, Consuming Blob. No attacks. Well, we're at a standoff at the moment. Silverback Elder. All right, I mean, that's some value. And another big thing. A Johnny Sleeper Agent. Takes it up, draws a Beast Collar. Oh, well, eat the Herd Migration. Well, 1 mana Necromass is not the worst. Oh, we need to start attacking at some point. How do we get to start attacking? We could Liliana. Oh, we can't. Oh, we don't have double black. We can't Liliana. Well, in that case, I guess we play the Necromass. Yeah, we'll just pass the turn. Keep blobbing. Beast Collar. Triggers. This game's gonna get interesting. Who's actually gonna be able to kill someone? So opponent's gonna ramp. Yep, gets Beast Collar. Takes up a Johnny. Whiffs. Are we keeping the Herd Migration? Maybe we got a Sky Turtle back at Black Source, as awkward as that is. Leaves it on top. Cycles a Triome. Yeah, let's keep waiting. Eat the land. All right, there's a Black Source. So play the Black Source. Play Liliana. Take up Liliana. Discard old stick fingers. Yeah, let's get in at this Johnny. Got Death Touch. So our opponent, if they want to trade with Beast Collar or something, they can. And this Hydra has not been that impressive. This is kind of the problem with Hydra. Like, it has to be able to get in to actually do anything. All right, opponent just chumps. Sure. Well, we will keep making oozes. I feel like maybe we're winning this. Maybe. So opponent gets to make 5 more 3/3s. We're making a 4/5 each turn. Opponent takes up Leyline Binding. Gonna leave it on top. So I guess I can get rid of our Liliana eventually, which is a bit annoying. Herd Migration, makes bunch of dorks. And Llanowar Loam Speaker, I guess just gains life? Yeah, it gains life. Sure. Well, all right. Our opponent's entire hand is on the battlefield. We untap. Eat a Herd Migration. Ooh, Shigeki. We do like Shigeki. Yeah, attack a Johnny again. All right, gonna double block. So we get rid of a couple of bees. Take down Liliana. Get rid of a beast. Make a dork. So we can Shigeki back 2 things. Opponent digs up. All right, just a land. I mean, maybe we're still, I actually really don't know. Wow, they're keeping the land on top. So what are we getting back with Shigeki? Goyf and Sky Turtle, maybe? The problem is this ultimating does eventually beat us, although not super quickly. All right, well, discard Shigeki, get back Goyf, and Turtle. Eat the Loam Speaker. Grow the Sprout. We draw another Goyf. Yeah, let's double kick a Goyf. Mill a bunch of cards. Grow our stuff. Take down Liliana. No, that's only as a sorcery. Oh, float some mana, all right. Well, go to combat. Attack our opponent. Attack our opponent. I mean, our Goyfs are huge. They are legitimately huge. And this blob is kind of going off. All right, opponent's just going to do some chumping. Sure. Leyline Binding. Gonna try to get rid of the blob. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Yep. Kill some stuff. So our plan is just to hopefully whittle our opponent down here. We'll see if they ultimate a Johnny. They have to cast 5 creatures or planeswalkers. Okay, they're gonna emblem. So opponent's gotta cast 5 creatures or planeswalkers. And they poison us out. That does mean we don't really want to bounce their stuff much. Well, eat the Loam Speaker. Play the land. Double kick Goyf. Keep growing them. Keep growing them. All right. They're getting big. Attack with the Goyfs and the stick fingers. I mean, I think this is kind of working. Found it. Blocks. 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 Our stuff's just so big they can't deal with it. And eventually this plan of chump blocking is going to stop working. Like, our opponent they had so many 3/3s, but we're slowly eating through them. Opponent, another Leyline Binding. Probably gonna hit a Goyf, I assume. Hits the old stick fingers. Interesting. I probably would have hit a Goyf personally. Whoa! Oh, this is our opponent giving up, I guess. Block, 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 block. Oh, is our opponent just... Oh, actually, that's a silly way to block. Yeah, just block with a Goyf. We just kill all their... I guess our opponent just gave up on this game. That's kind of what it looks like to me. All right, block with everything. I mean, the power of the Goyfs. It was not a quick win, but eventually 2 mana 15/16s. Apparently good enough. Apparently good enough. I'll eat something, and yeah, we'll attack you for just a smidge. Just a smidge. Whoa! That is standard Goyf power. I mean, that was a case where it's not like our opponent had bad draws or something. Like, their draws were pretty good. They had all their land types. They were casting Planeswalk. They ultimated in Ajani. I will say that was kind of a depressing Ajani example. The plus was good. We got to see the plus be good, but our opponent ultimating it empty-handed, I don't know if that was worth it. Maybe it had more value to our opponent to just keep it and keep ticking up to try to draw cards, or worst case, scrying, rather than ultimating. If you got a bunch of cards in hand, the ultimate seems good. But if you got no cards in hand, like, how are you going to poison someone? That's a lot of creatures to cast if you have no cards in hand. That's a lot of Goyfs. That's a lot of Goyfs. Opponent faces. Sure. Well, play the land. Shigeki. We'd like to get a Shigeki activation in. But opponent is incentivized to play a creature here. Goro. Can we hit a land, please? No. Okay, pass the turn. So we're gonna block and Shigeki. Hopefully hit our lands. Ooh, Gruul. Oh, so this is probably like a modified deck. Attacks. Well, if this Shigeki whiffs, then we're probably dead. All right, Shigeki. Pick it up. Get a land. Mill a couple creatures. Drop to 17. Beast Collar. Ooh, all right, we draw a land. This is good. So now we get to double kick Goyf. And this should be difficult for our opponent's deck to deal with. All right, 5/6. That's pretty big. Alana and Elena. Okay. Goyf is just so huge. I think Goyf is like actively underrated. Yep, Grows Etchings passes. Well, play Taxidermist. Pass the turn. Hitting land drops would be kind of helpful. We can bounce something with Sky Turtle. Opponent, Thundering Raju. Counters on. Opponent's really tanky on this. All right, Goro. Sure. Opponent goes to combat. Are we getting frisky? No. Well, we're still going to Sky Turtle to bounce. I guess Alana and Elena. Grow the Goyf. Mirror Shell Crab. Okay. Well, that does change things. All right, let's play Goyf. Oh, no. Let's not take damage. Let's play Goyf with no kicker, awkwardly. So run out Goyf. I think since we drew the Mirror Shell Crab, I think we want to take advantage of it. Pass the turn. Halana and Elena is worth countering. Taxidermist really good in this deck. Gala Greeters, okay. Elves. Halana and Elena. Well, we're gonna crab that. All right. Well, I mean, we're shields down, opponent. If you ever wanted to attack, this was your chance. Although our Goyfs are just so big. Ooh, Liliana. Wow! Bonus comes Goyfs are just too good. They're just too good. People can't beat the Goyfs. That was not even like a very good draw. We played a couple of Goyfs, but like if you're willing to build around Goyf, I think this card's like, I think we have reached legit Goyf in standard level. Opponent scooped at like 20 life, but our stuff was just too big. It's too big for them to handle. Like if you're playing against other mid-range decks, just being bigger than your opponent's deck is a pretty good place to be. Ooh, all right. Well, the tap lane's a little awkward. How do we want to do this? Yeah, let's just get down the Sprout. We can take next turn off if we have to. Our one Evolving Wilds. Opponent, Island, Weemill, Shigeki. Well, play the Evolving Wilds, hit you for 1. About it, down to 19. Milling a creature is not bad. All right, opponent considers, so some sort of Spell Slinger deck. Blue-black, all right. This should be interesting, because our opponent should actually have removal. Oh, Raven Man. Huh. Okay. Well, we're going to grab a Swamp. Mill a Sky Turtle. And yeah, let's just get rid of the Raven Man. Might as well. Get that sweet, sweet Liliana value. Hit you for 1. Well, being the first one to have a Liliana is good. Opponent, Kaido Suzuki. Makes a ninja. How are we doing this? Play the land. Take up Liliana. Discard Undead Butler. Double kick a Goyf. Mill a few cards. Hit you for 1. I mean, 7-8. That's not bad for a 2-drop. Standard Goyf. OP. Opponent takes it. Untaps. Gets in at Liliana. Okay, so opponent gets to draw a card. Although they're going to need answers or we're going to actually be able to kill this Kaido. Because this Sprout's going to flip 2. Opponent duresses. That's a whiff. Plays a land. Kills the Sprout. Can they also kill the Goyf? Not yet. Kill Kaido. How do we want to do this? Are we taking up Liliana? I mean, we don't even have the mana for the blob. Yeah, let's tick it up. Discard the blob. Grow the Goyf. Pass the turn. Opponent knows that we have this Urtai. It's in it, Lily. Sure. I mean, hopefully this Liliana just gets our opponent empty-handed. Opponent's going to pass. Well, I mean, go to combat. Hit you for 9. Tick up Liliana. Opponent runs out Urtai. Okay. To counter the Liliana trigger? Oh, they're going to destroy the Goyf. All right, sure. So opponent kills the Goyf. We get to draw a card. We'll discard Urtai. Play Beseju. Necromass. Double kick the Goyf. All right, casual two mana. Well, I guess it was 4 mana because we kicked it, but still, 2-drop 14/15 in standard. And opponent. I'm telling you, Goyf is busted. It is busted. People are sleeping on this card. People are sleeping on the power of Tarmogoyf. I know, though. It's early access day. I get it. It's best to 1. I get it. But seriously, are you seeing how strong this card is? I don't know if it'll be that good in older formats. And it's worth pointing out, we tried a Jund deck that had like 15 creatures or something and a bunch of planeswalkers and removal. Goyf in that deck was horrible. You gotta play a ton of creatures to make Goyf good. But if you play a ton of creatures, wow, that card's so good. Yeah, this is fine. Get the Sprout down. We have, and it's also nice that you have old stick fingers too, which is kind of backup Goyf, essentially. Well, Millicrab. Draw land. Play the land. Play Shigeki. All right, opponent's on. Who knows? Bant, 5 color. Well, it's probably for 1. Opponent. Ooh, light pause. Okay. That's a bit scary. Yeah, we just don't have a ton of removal for that. Play the land and pass the turn, I guess. Yeah, this is scary. Gonna need a Liliana pretty quick. Ivy 2. Oh boy. Yeah, this is a ridiculously scary setup. Combat research doubles it up. Oh, we might have met our match with the jank. Gets to double aura. Yeah, this is like the dream of our opponents. Goes attacking. We get to block and Shigeki and get Yavimaya Coast. We need Urtai like this turn. We get to flip, Writhing Necromass. I'll play the land. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Old Stick Fingers. X2. Mill pretty much all of our Goyfs. Necromass. Hit ya. Well, we'll see. We got the big stuff, but our opponent's got the synergies. I'm very frightened. I don't know if I've ever played against a light pause deck and had it work out in my favor. Continuing to go off. Gets, I don't even know. Wait, we can't. This is on, what auras are on the, oh, security bypass, okay. So opponent gets in, hits us, draws a card, gets to connive. Well, we'll exile the Stomper, grow our dork. Is there any way we can win? If we attack with everything, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, play the land, go to combat, attack with everything. We'll see what our opponent does. Blocks. There is a world where we can win. Right now. Channel. All right, let's think about this. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We're going to be 1 short. So we can't win this turn, right? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I think we take Necromass. Beseju the Pumping Aura. Opponent gets a land. Drops to 3. We play, oh, this is it. Play the Necromass. Like, if you can light pause us, you can light pause us. Opponent gonna make a 1/1. Are we dead? We can't block the light pause. Opponent needs some serious power pumping, and we can die. Otherwise, we're definitely gonna win on the backswing. Okay, big lifelinker. I don't think that matters, though. Actually, maybe that matters. First strike vigilance lifelink. Yeah, that's a problem. Well, eat the ivy, grow the dork. So this is what, a 4/4? I think we're actually okay. I think the Shigeki can do it. Shigeki get back Beseju. So go to combat, attack with everything. Opponent blocks. So Shigeki X1. Get back oh, it's legendary. We just killed ourselves. Okay, just kidding, we lose. We had such a good plan, but it's not legal. All right, play this. Yeah. Well, reading the card, as they say. Reading the card. Wow. Diplomancy. Oh, we would have had it too. We would have had it if it wasn't for those meddling rules. How about it? Making more big lifelinkers. Well, I mean, I guess it's cool that we've got to see the jank go off here. Although, it's a little bit of a bummer that we're going to lose. Well, Shigeki. Pick it up. Get a land. Play Evolving Wilds. I mean, we're dead. I don't know why this game's continuing. We're just straight up dead. Well, get in with the old stick fingers. Opponent, gonna do some blocking. Gonna lose their token. Gain back some life. Unfortunately, we also have not milled a turtle. Like the sky turtle would have been sky turtle would have been huge, but we just have not been able to find it. Well, this was a little bit self-inflicted. Although with Shigeki not doing what we wanted to, I don't think we really had a chance to win anyway. So let's watch our opponent jank off a bit. Cradle of Safety, makes another copy. Gets a bunch of triggers. I mean, if they're tutoring out Cradle of Safeties, they gotta be about done with auras. Gets in for 7. Well, I mean, we'll block. Opponent gains a bunch of life. Can we draw a good card? Crack this. Then the deck. Get a forest. There's all the sky turtles. It's another land. I'll play the land and pass the turn. About it untaps. Another Duplimancy. Opponent goes to combat, gets in with light pause. And we can't do anything about that because of that silly aura. Down to 5. Drawing draws a card and then connives. Plays a land. Cycles. Opponent's back up to 14. We really need to mill some sky turtles and have them work. Topiary Stomper. All right. If we can get some sky turtles, I think we can win here. We need to get rid of these 2 blockers. All right, so Shigeki. Pick it up. No sky turtles. I'll take Dreamroot Cascade. We can Shigeki back 2 things, but there's no turtle. And we can't get the lands, as we learned earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, Shigeki. X2. The problem is we're dead next turn. We're just straight dead. None of this stuff does anything. All right. So, okay, what we need to do is just top deck a turtle. We top deck Urtai. Does that change things? They have so many lands. Crab's not. All right, replay Shigeki. Yeah, I think we just got to do this now. Urtai. Kill the light pause. Pay the ward. Opponent gets to draw a card. All right. This forces our opponent to block, but it's not very good. You may cast this from your graveyard. This is just going to kill a Stomper. All right, no attacks, pass the turn. Oh, if they can go unblockable again, then we're dead. Another Ivy. Yeah, I think this finally... Wow, boy. I think this finally does do it. Opponent, careful consideration. Gets a million copies. Gets to get some auras. Yeah, now I think our opponent just has too much stuff for us to actually get through, even if we draw well. And cast the aura, gets a million copies. Well, if you're gonna lose, you might as well lose to someone playing their Against the Odds episode. At least we get to see some jank go off. Although obviously, if we had a choice, we'd rather just win. But what can you do? We were kind of betrayed by Shigeki, honestly. We had to win that turn if Shigeki didn't have that non-legendary clause. Although, I mean, I guess it's necessary because if you get back legends and 2 Shigekis just loop each other, that was their way to avoid you looping Shigekis with each other. We draw a Goyf, but this Goyf doesn't do it. I mean, we're just super dead. Shigeki. Hey, it's finally a turtle, but way too late. Well, apparently we found the one thing that can beat standard Tarmogoyf, which is Vesuvian Duplimancy. It is funny that we've played a bunch of theoretically good decks and just crushed them, and then we played like the epitome of Against the Odds, and and it actually got us. Although I guess maybe that was a punt on our end. It was definitely a punt, but I don't know if that punt would have mattered. That turn when we thought we were going to be able to win with Shigeki, obviously overlooking the non-legendary clause, that was definitely a punt. Although I really don't know if that actually would that have actually changed anything. Would that have went from a win to a loss had we not been punted? All right. Well, hopefully we draw land, but we'll keep this. Hopefully we draw some black mana. Lorgoyf really want to be able to kick the Tarmogoyf in standard. If we're not kicking it, it's kind of very sad. Well, let's see what we draw. What are you up to? Yav Maya Coast. Well, we will play Death Mana Sprout. Go. Opponent. Untaps. Forest. Land or Loam Speaker. We mill a crab, which is good. We draw Black Source, which will help eventually. Now, play the land and let's just bounce a Loam Speaker. Hit you with the Sprout. Well, it's almost time to start playing our big stuff. We'll see what we draw next turn. There might be an argument to leaving up Crab next turn and then kicking the Goyf the following turn. If we draw a land, that's really going to determine it. We mill a land. We draw a turtle. We're still going to just pass. Pass the turn, see what our opponent does. Do we have a black source in the graveyard? No. Wearian Beast Kala. And let's just counter that, might as well. Get our crab value while we can. Also another creature in the graveyard for the Sprout, so we should be able to flip the Sprout. Ooh, Ivy. All right. Well, flip the Sprout, go to combat, attack. Opponent takes it. Kick a Goyf. Only one, sadly. Well, mill a bunch of stuff, pass the turn. Well, let's see what our opponent can do with their Ivy. I mean, opponent's gonna do little sneaky synergies. We are going to try to kill our opponent with big things. I mean, go to combat, attack ya. Opponent, down to 5. Yeah, bounce the Loam Speaker. All right, do what you can, opponent, do what you can. Trying to pinch their mana, essentially, so they can't have too big of a turn. And then hopefully make them chump block with our... Yeah, not gonna exile. I'll go to combat, attack ya. Okay, random pump spell. Another random pump spell. There's a lot of against the odds Ivy decks at the moment. Blocks. Blocks. Well, we will play a Goyf. Play Death Bonnet Sprout. And pass the turn. These Ivy against the odds decks are doing their thing. Opponent's only got 2 cards in hand. Root Oil Creeper. All right, that does not. Okay, so opponent, they've done their thing, and now they're out of things. Mill. Flip. I think we do need to exile. Wait, what Sprout is this for? Yeah, we do need to exile a creature, which will be Sprout, because we want this to also be a lethal threat. Well, play the land, attack with everything, clean out the board a bit. Opponent's got to block 3 things. All right, so opponent does some blocking. They drop to 2. Play the Goyf. No kicker. Play Shigeki. All right, pass the turn. Do your best, opponent. Do your best. Are we dead? Duplimancy, 2 Ivies. Wow, we overcame. Well, we played 2 Ivy decks in a row. I will say the Ivy deck that was casting auras seems scarier than the Ivy deck that was casting instants and sorceries. Yeah, we'll exile some stuff from your graveyard, might as well. Well, just to make sure, I think we play Liliana, take it up to get our opponent empty-handed. Smack ya to death. All right, so apparently we can beat an Ivy deck. We might have to play Duplimancy for against the odds. It does seem like one of the sweetest decks when you can go off with it. We tried to play a Esper version and didn't work very well, but maybe just going Ivy is the way to go. Try to play as many Ivies as possible. It does seem really funny when it works. All right, come on, Goyfs. Can we keep the Goyf run going? Why am I a Johnny? I like this hand. A little bit annoying that we don't have 2 untapped lands, but this hand's fine. Rivetia's Outlook. All right, so we're getting Junded. Standard Jund could be pretty good too. Well, land, ouch, Death Bonnet Sprout, go. Opponent, what do you got for us, opponent? No Goyfs. I mean, we got Old Stick Fingers, which is pseudo Goyf. All right, mill a Old Stick Fingers, that's good. I'll draw an untapped land. That's also fine. Go to combat, hit ya. So opponent appears to be a legend deck of some kind. So if they play a creature, we can just Sky Turtle it. All right, or maybe our opponent will just pass. That's also legal, even in new standard. Well, play the land, play Sprout number 2. They're gonna flip eventually. I promise you, it's gonna happen. We actually are like kind of rooting for our opponent to play a creature because we would like to get a Sky Turtle in the graveyard. to help flip these sprouts. Opponent. Proving right. No creature, still opponent. Come on now, opponent. You're not helping our sprout flip plan. All right, mill a couple cards. 2 creatures would work. Gonna cut down a sprout. Do we even care about this? All right, sure, whatever. So kills a sprout. This does increase the odds. Okay, so there's the flip. Play the land, go to combat, hit you for 3. Yeah, it's just, we have all these channel creatures in hand. I kind of like just leaving up mana here. Soul of Windgrace. Yeah, let's just counter that. And then also eat it. The Hulk is doing its work here. Well, go to combat, hit ya. And then I think we just run out of big old stick fingers, spend all of our mana on it. Old stick fingers, X3. Mill some cards, get a 7/7. All right, opponent, you're not cutting down old stick fingers, that's for sure. I don't really know about cut down. Still haven't figured out if it's gonna be good enough. Tear asunder. All right, so that gets rid of the old stick fingers. Yeah, eat whatever. Draw land, go to combat, hit you for 4. Play Undead Butler. And pass the turn. So I think we're sky turtling something. Maybe the blob? I guess Ren could also be good. Soul of Windgrace number 2. So what do we have in our graveyard? Artifact, Planeswalker, enchantment, creature, land. That's pretty good. Yeah, I think we just go blob here. This is where the blob's kind of at its best. And our Hulk is actually big enough to... Oh, we definitely should have eaten the land, shouldn't we have? All right, so Sky Turtle. Get back blob. 1, 2, 3. Actually, should we get blob? I guess so. The problem with getting blob is we can't also Sky Turtle unless we draw land. Maybe that's just fine though. Yeah, we're just gonna get blob. If we draw land, great. If we don't draw land, that's also fine. Well, get rid of this outlook. We draw the land, so play the land, play the blob. Hit you with the sprout, opponent. Wow, gonna trade it off. All right, opponent, you need something pretty good because the blob's coming for you. I mean, the blob is actually like as close to an actual Goyf as we have. It's a Goyf that makes Goyfs, but only counts our graveyard. So I guess that means we're kind of Goyf tribal, really. Tova. Oh, this is just like legends, I guess. Opponent passes. I don't go to combat, swing with everything. We could try to bounce and win, but I don't think it's necessary. So opponent blocks. They dropped to 3. Play a casual 2-mana 4/4. Make another ooze. Meatball doesn't do it. Opponent needs, I don't even know, a hard sweep. Zayatora. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, let's just make sure that we win. Bounce Zayatora, untap, go to combat. Goyf in hand is the mascot, and got him. I really think, so it's going to be interesting. I feel like this deck has the power to be a real deck in Standard. Like, I think that some sort of Sultai Goyf deck, I think it could actually be legit. My only concern is, if it becomes legit, how much graveyard hate are we going to face? Like, is there enough graveyard hate to shut this down? There's incidental graveyard hate, which is annoying. Let's do a search on Scryfall real quick. Scryfall, very good for this. So, Exile Graveyard. What do we actually, let's sort by mana value actually. So what do we have to be afraid of? Not Jack-o'-lantern. So Lantern of the Lost, like that would just get us hardcore. That would just wreck us. And then like incidentally, opponents playing Cemetery Prowlers, Graveyard Trespassers, those are annoying, but not just like game over, because it's gonna be hard to keep attacking with them because our stuff's so big. We'll have to wait and see. I feel like this is a deck that like has the potential to be really good. At the same time, there are answers to it. Maybe it's one of those decks that is especially good in Best of One. Because in Best of One, it seems harder to play like full on just graveyard hate in your deck. But all right, mono black aggro probably. Well, play the land, and we need to draw another land. That's number 1. Yeah, passes. We mill Necromass. All right, there's a land. That is very good. Well, we're just gonna pass for another turn and do something. If they try to flip the curtains, we'll just turtle bounce and get the blowout. And it seems appealing to flip the curtain here. If they don't do anything, then I guess that's a win because they're not doing anything and our sprout was eventually gonna flip. Opponent's really thinking about how to do this curtain turn. All right, there's the transform. Well, we will just bounce the curtain, fizzle the transform. Untap, mill, flip, go to combat, hit ya. Play Shigeki because we need lands. We're actually kind of okay with this flipping anyway because it might draw us into a land. I wonder if we should play one more land in the deck. We have 24 lands. I miss the cheaty lands. I really miss the cheaty lands. No cheaty lands left anymore. Also, flipping this against mono black's big because you can't, once it flips, it can't be cut down. And a lot of people play cut down. Whether that's right or wrong, I'm not sure, but a lot of people do play it. Are we flipping? Is it time? All right, Liliana ticks down. Yeah, I guess Shigeki goes. And then we'll eat a Urtai. Go to combat. Kill Liliana, hopefully. Or kill the curtain, one or the other. All right, opponent's gonna block. Yeah, that's one of the things I've been struggling with. Oh, opponent's not gonna block. That's one of the things I've been struggling with this new standard format is how many lands do you play? Gone are the days when you can have your cake and eat it too land-wise. Because there's just not good utility lands or MDFCs. They are all gone. So playing like more lands the better. But at the same time, if you play more lands, that means you're not gonna have as much action. Your risk of flooding out is higher. I assume they have to take the crab if they want to resolve something. We have a bunch of cards that are very bad for our opponent if we ever draw lands. Like Ren, Liliana, all those cards are really, even Shigeki, they're all really good if we hit more lands. All right, takes the crab, we get a land. Gets in, hits us, sure. Down to 16, passes. Well, eat the lily. Go to combat, hit ya. Well, hitting that land was really big. Now we get to play Liliana. We get to get rid of the eye. So yeah, this eye actually worked out pretty well for us, I think. Your go, opponent. Now you're the one facing down the Liliana, and we can Shigeki back a land if we have to and vote. Wow, okay. Yeah, that's a blowout. That is a blowout. Kick a Goyf. Only once. Play Necromass. Pass the turn. Still would kind of like another land. Getting down this Ren would be good. Yeah, Invoke Despair is going to be a big card, I think, in the standard. I think some sort of mono black control actually has a lot of potential. Whether or not it's better than being like Rakdos or something, that's going to be the question. But the core cards are there to play mono black control. All right, gets rid of the Goyf. Passes. Well, there's the land. So, well, go to combat. Hit you with the Necromass. Play the land. Play the Ren. Make a tree folk. Lethal on board. Oh, no more invokes. No more invokes, please. Hopefully our opponent's sitting with a handful of cut downs that just don't do anything. Oh, and wow. How did our opponent have 6 cards in hand that were all useless? Like, what is maybe it is a bunch of cut downs. I wish we could see. Cut down has disappointed me so far. It really has. It's a little, I think it's okay. It's gonna get aggro, but it's a little hit or miss. Well, all right, that's a Goyf inning. We lost a single time, and that was to Ivy, where we just got janked out. We couldn't deal with Vesuvian Diplomacy of all things. So the one answer to Tarmogoyf in Standard is essentially against the odds deck, so busted already. Seriously though, I think this deck is legit good. We'll see if it can hold up in best of 3 when there's graveyard hate running around. I know it's early access day, but Tarmogoyf itself is a 2-mana 14-15 a lot of the time. Like, it gets so big, and there's good support, and there's good planeswalkers, and you get to play a bunch of removal while it's still creatures, because you get to have Mirror Shell Crabs, and you get to have Sky Turtles, and you get to backdoor the Shigeki Sky Turtle synergy for the late game. I think it's a good deck. I would recommend it. We'll see if it stands up in best of 3. Maybe we'll trade on stream sometime. But anyway, that is our first Much Improved for New Standard. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. And next week, we'll be back to playing best of 3, of course. Early Access Day. It was either play Early Access Day stuff, which, thank you, Wizards, for Early Access Day. It's always so much fun. But it was either do Early Access Day or not play Dominaria until next week. And I think Early Access Day, even best of 1, wins out 100% of the time in that scenario. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. And I will talk to you soon.